Ladies and gentlemen, Wrestling Matters fans, it's I, the head Anthony Walker, the HD, the A to the D, with another episode of the Wrestling Matters podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, as you always do, and you always do your support. You show that support to the podcast, and I appreciate that very, very much. Talk about Raw, talk about TNA, talk about SmackDown, talk about a lot of things, as we always do on this show. Yeah, it's going to be a good show as always. I've got a few things I want to talk about first before we get into Raw's points. I want to talk about one thing. I'll talk about the other one later on, but I want to talk about CM Punk. Yes, the guy, the best in the world, the guy who comes up a lot lately. I read through WTTV News, which is Wrestle Talk TV, which you can see on YouTube if you're in America and that, but obviously if you're in the UK you can get to see it on Challenge each and every Sunday night at 11 o'clock after TNA. Yeah, I read, and I don't know if it was on there or it might have been on the other one as well, the Now DQ. It said that CM Punk was pursuing an MMA career. Now, that's natural, because as he's appeared at UFC events, and he's an MMA fan, he's made that clear. I don't know if that would work for him, myself. I mean, he's done Muay Thai and all that stuff in the background. He's even said it going back to when he first came into the business, or came into WWE at least. You know, he's a very disciplined, straight edge guy. I suppose if he got the right people to work with, I mean, I think he spends time with Gracie, the Gracie camp and everything. That's where you see the Gracie suit, the Gracie stuff that he rocks when he did his entrances before, the hoodie and all that. But will it work? I don't know. Have we seen the last of CM Punk, the wrestler? Probably so, yes. Also, I might as well talk about this now. I'm not going to wait till later. I'm going to talk about it now. It seems that WWE have took CM Punk merchandise off their website, their online store. And there's only 6. Apparently, I haven't checked it. There's only about 6 bits of merchandise there for CM Punk. The rest have been taken down. And apparently this is, allegedly, I don't know if this is true, apparently this is due to CM Punk filing a lawsuit to WWE. Now, like I say, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know what the whole thing's about, but I just wish CM Punk would make up with WWE and come back. I know it's probably WWE in the wrong and everything, and CM Punk is not, because, well, let's face it, WWE's booking as of late is not very good. And their booking mind and their booking in respects of use of superstars and how to book the superstars is not very good. I mean, that's why CM Punk threw the famous pipe bomb that he threw a couple of years ago on Raw. Whether it'll work or not, whether he will be allowed to come back, all this will pipe down remains to be seen. But I kind of hope so. I want to see CM Punk back in the wrestling ring. I want to see him back doing the pipe bombs. I want to see the pipe bomb gimmick again. I missed the pipe bomb gimmick. That pipe bomb gimmick was fucking hilarious. And he owns some people, especially him and Laurinaitis. Oh, baby. But if this is the end of CM Punk, then thank you, Punk, for what you've done. I will always be a CM Punk guy, because you're probably the only real wrestler since Stone Cold Steve Austin, quite frankly. And you are definitely, and always will be, wrestling's cult of personality. Whether you be back, I hope so. But it's to be seen. But as the old saying is in the wrestling business, never say never. Raw kicked off this week with a cage match. Now, like I said on the feedback that I delivered for Sunday Segue this week, I would have probably put this on a pay-per-view. But hey, season premiere of Raw, I understand it's all about ratings, so it is what it is. Whether Chris Jericho was saved in perhaps a question best posed to the man himself, Bray Wyatt certainly acted as though he was delivering the Ayatollah Rock and Roller from an unnamed evil in the steel cage rubber match between the two. Wyatt beat the former undisputed champion like he was trying to exorcise the devils himself from Y2J's veins. After ramming Chris Jericho's face first into the steel links, Wyatt looked to have all the momentum in the world in his hands. Wink wink. Veteran plus some well-aimed kicks and chops that softened Wyatt up from the Lion Salt Savior kept Jericho in the game. But the Wyatt family lurking around ringside kept Y2J from escaping the cage. Jericho made lemonade with a sky-high crossbody that left his knee injured. The eater of words literally pounced on the injured opponent, ultimately wrathing free of the cage after brawl with Jericho at the door, that is, before locking himself back in and putting a beat down on Jericho a little while long. What's next for Bray Wyatt? What's next for them two? I don't know. Now, I won't talk about the Miz, but I will say this. If you saw the photos with the Miz and Dolph Ziggler segment, it if you saw the photos with them with Miz and Dolph Ziggler, the Miz and Damien Sandow pictures and everything. Last one in particular, Sandow in. Like I said on the feedback that I gave Sunday Segue, all I'll say about this is I'll just hope Maurice didn't walk in on them. That's all I gotta say. With each week that Brock Lesnar holds the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Paul Heyman predictions for the rematch grow more and more severe. Now, according to the mad scientist, John Cena is not simply going to be conquered, he is going to be, well, accurately, WWE Universe didn't hear what would happen because Cena cut him off. As it turned out, Heyman was there to give Cena some inside information on how to beat Lesnar. But Cena declined Heyman's offer, and in his attempt to goad Cena into turning on the WWE Universe, Cena instead retaliated his long-standing promise to send the Beast back to where he came from and to reclaim the Ultimate title in the process. Will it happen? Guess we'll have to wait and see on the pay-per-view. Just want to say as well, congratulations to the NXT match as well. That was the best match of the night. It involved the two men that were in the four men that were in that fatal four-way in a tag match. To be honest with you, that was the best match of the night. I'm not going to talk about it because, let's face it, the reason why I'm not going to talk about it is because let's face it, the match, even though it was the best match of the night and my favourite part of Raw, it was a promotion for the NXT TakeOver show, so I won't go into any further detail on that one, but I will say this, it was a great match. I don't think the fatal four-way beat it. But congratulations on WWE as well, particularly Triple H, for promoting the NXT team. And apparently, from what I heard as well, they're building NXT into a brand, and quite frankly, it already isn't into a brand anyway. But it's his own brand. So I don't care what happens, what they do with NXT, as long as they make it great. Because let's face it, NXT, where wrestling matters in WWE. Because if you want to see great wrestling, you need to watch NXT, no doubt. Anyway, to the main event. The Roman Empire reigns on, though not without its hiccups. Roman Reigns did repeat his SummerSlam victory over Orton in the main event of Raw's season premiere, but it was a technicality that gave the big dog his win, and he certainly wasn't celebrating when Raw went off the air. Former tag team champions greatly punch for punch effort against the Apex Predator took a turn for the worst right as Reigns reversed an RKO into a Superman punch. Orton commanded Seth and Kane to come help him with beatdown that he gave Reigns, which handed Reigns the disqualification win. But that wasn't all. As if the 2-on-1 beatdown wasn't enough, the Authority had to bring the steel cage down. Even though Reigns got a spear in on Orton, the corporate cronies eventually overwhelmed him with the help of a steel chair, whooping him within an inch of his life. Rollins provided the exclamation point with the curve stomp after he did a dive which was better than Chris Jericho's off the top of the cage onto the steel, and that left Roman Reigns laid out in the middle of the ring. What will happen next? I guess we'll have to tune in this coming week on Raw. Well, tonight even on Raw. By the way, tonight on Raw, it's been announced it's going to be a Divas tag team match involving Paige and Nikki Bella versus Bray and AJ Lee. So make sure you tune in for that. I just hope that if it's going to be a tag match, I just hope it's as good as the one on this episode of Raw, the season premiere. Impact Wrestling opened this week with a national anthem and a match involving DJZ and Chris Melendez, now the new guy from the military. The crowd vocal support the debuting Chris Melendez against his opponent DJZ. Melendez gains command, an early advantage, drawing a loud USA chant from the crowd. From behind, DJZ chop blocks Melendez's leg. DJZ's offense is short-lived, however, as Melendez fights back into the match, catching DJZ with a Samoan drop to secure the victory in his debut. And to be honest with you, for someone who was an amputee, he was pretty impressive. I'd have to say he's like I say, for an amputee, I mean, all these amputee wrestlers that have been in the past, I mean, the one amputee wrestler that I remember in the past was Zach Gout, and I don't think he was that very good. Not bad for Chris. Hopefully he can continue. The It Factor, Bobby Roode addresses the fans while praising Eric Young. Roode claims to be ready to reclaim his spot at the top of TNA. MVP, Kenny King, and Lashley interrupt. MVP says facing Lashley is a reality, not a movie, that ends happily ever after. He claims that the best Bobby Roode can hope a short hospital stay. Roode says he knows Lashley could destroy him, that his heart and passion are enough to overcome the destroyer. MVP and King attack Bobby Roode. Samoa Joe and Eric Young clear the ring. Joe issues a challenge to Roode's men, Rude's enemies, they accept, which leads to the 6-man tag, impromptu 6-man tag. Lashley and MVP Kenny King stand grouped at the bottom of the ramp. Samoa Joe launches himself through the ropes with a suicide dive. Joe and Kenny King start the match with the X Division champion dominates early. King drops Joe's throat across the ropes, then misses a springboard assault. Joe tags Eric Young and MVP enters the match. Young appears evenly matched with MVP until Kenny King drops him with a cheap shot, allowing MVP to bring in the world champion Lashley. Lashley proves to be dominant opponent by keeping Eric Young grounded. Lashley, Kenny King and MVP exchange tags, isolating Eric Young. Lashley locks in a cross armbreaker, which Eric Young counters into a powerbomb. Powerbomb creates enough separation to allow MVP and Bobby Roode to be tagged into the match. MVP attempts a drive-by, but Bobby Roode counters and secures the win with a Roode bomb. On No Surrender. Now to the main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, the match 2 in this Tag Team Championship Series. The Wolves enter the following iconic opponents as Taz declares, "Let the hunt begin." All 6 men square off in the ring, bodies fly and heads are bounced off every surface, including the ring apron, guardrail and steel steps. Matt and Bully find themselves in the ring. Bully commands the match and he and Devon kneel. "What's up?" Bully and the crowd instruct Devon to get the tables. Team 3D pull the first table out from beneath the ring. Wolves attempt a double suicide dive, but Team 3D dodges there's assault and they use the table to clothesline the tag team champions as they turn. The Hardys dropkick the table into the faces of Team 3D. The Hardys assume control by slamming Davey Richards' throat across the leg of the table before dropping Eddie Edwards on the side of the table with a front suplex. Jeff positions the table, then he drapes Eddie on top of it. He climbs the turnbuckle, but Eddie counters with a suplex before Jeff crashes down. Devon moves the table to keep the match going. The match breaks into a chaotic scene as the Hardys gain control and a double team advantage on Bully Ray. Bully moves just in time and Jeff Hardy drives his own feet through the table. Team 3D set up a table outside the ring and attempts to put Matt Hardy through it, but the Wolves fly with another suicide dive to prevent the attack. Meanwhile, Jeff unfolds a table and positions it between the ring apron and the steel stairs. He's tipped to their side. The Edwards leaps from the turnbuckle to the floor, taking out Jeff Hardy with a huge crossbody. The Wolves double team Matt Hardy, but before they can mount further offense, Team 3D clears the ring. Team 3D decimates Jeff Hardy's creation and they set up the table in the center of the ring. Team 3D stalks Matt Hardy, calling for 3D. The Wolves fly from the turnbuckle, stopping the attack. They position Matt Hardy on the table and make the climb. Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy makes the save. Matt drops Eddie with a twist of fate from the turnbuckle. Matt drags Eddie Edwards from the ring and drapes him across the table on the outside. Jeff Hardy flies from the turnbuckle with a swanton bomb, sends Eddie crashes through the table, ending a spectacular encounter. Hardy then take their stipulation win from winning the second match and make the third match in the series, which is a ladder match. Like I said, bring on No Surrender. SmackDown main points. In the midst of complete and utter bedlam, in SmackDown's opening 8-man tag match, Big Show delivered a knockout punch to Goldust, paving the way for Jey Uso, injured knee and all, to drop the Samoan Splash off the top rope for the win. But will the Usos continue that at Night of Champions? We shall see. I doubt that very much. And that was in the match, the 8-man tag, which was Usos, Big Show, Mark Henry versus Harper, Rowan, Stardust and Goldust. So we shall see. I predict though Goldust and Stardust will be the new tag team champions. I guess someone had to play heel. Anyway, with the always unpredictable AJ Lee joining the SmackDown announce team, Divas champion Paige made Summer Rae tap out using AJ's finishing maneuver, the Black Widow. When Layla attempted to take issue with the title holder after the match though, AJ cut her off the pass and hit her with adversaries Paige Turner. Mind games and more mind games, but how will these two be able to adapt knowing they're not just facing each other at Night of Champions. We've got Nikki Bella in the mix too, so that should be very interesting. I say more mind games, and Paige is playing mind games with the master of the mind games in the Divas division, the original Psycho Girl herself, AJ Lee. Dolph Ziggler decided to take a page from the playbook of the Night of Champions #1 contender Miz, as Dolph Ziggler arrived with a tag team partner alongside his own stub double, Ziggler, Truth, as we all know. And in the height of the action, as the referee was trying to get the moneymaker out of the ring, Truth, Ziggler, hit Damien Mizdow with the zigzag, allowing the show-off to pick up the win. It's going to be big at Night of Champions between Miz and Ziggler, but it seems Dolph Ziggler has Miz's number. After unleashing a furious attack on both Seth Rollins and Randy Orton, Roman Reigns engaged in a furious brawl outside the ring, leaving Chris Jericho and Randy Orton to finish the contest one-on-one. But when the Viper was attempted to hit the hanging DDT on his prey, Y2J countered and rolled the former world champion up for the huge win, gaining major pay-per-view momentum. So, what will happen at the pay-per-view? We shall see. Night of Champions, a week from yesterday. Wait. Right, I'll be back after these promos, ladies and gentlemen. I want to play a quick promo, then I'll be coming back with more on the Wrestling Matters podcast and our views and opinions of the world of professional wrestling. So, I'll see you after this.
Be sure to listen to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
What?
Every Sunday with Kenny Killer and the Galdem Sugar Shugs.
Yes!
With all the news, views, and laughter that you want.
They like jet airplanes. They like long limousines.
Every Sunday, the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast on Podomatic, iTunes, and YouTube.
So why don't you choke on that, slap nut?
In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, as you probably heard from that beautiful intro, it is time for a pipe bomb. Yep, I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw. Probably the worst part of Monday Night Raw. The Bella Twins and Springer fiasco. Oh dear, what would WWE thinking? You know, when they announced this, I believe they announced this on WWE.com. When they announced it, I don't know who announced it. I think it was on WWE.com or Stephanie made an announcement. I don't know what it was. But they announced this, and the minute they announced that Springer was coming on Raw to get in the middle of the Bella Twins, any wrestling fan with a brain knew that this was going to be a clusterfuck. This had clusterfuck written all over. This had fucking bullshit written all over it. This had brain exploding, worthless, nobody cares BS about it. And lo and behold, we were right. They start fighting, and they end up on Springer. Springer was like in the middle of it, like he was a referee. Then other divas used to fight, and they used to roll over the referee in that. That was kind of what Springer was like. But the best thing about it was, the funny thing I thought, is it was that much of a clusterfuck. Springer, oh my god, he hurt his ankle. That was the most ridiculous part of it. He hurt his ankle, and he's getting carried away. And Stephanie's like, apologizing to him, saying it was sorry. Stephanie, to be honest, Springer should never even been there in the first place, okay? This thing with the Bella Twins is getting borderline ridiculous. I know you're trying to make an angle out of it. I know you guys are trying to make a feud between them two, but it's getting borderline ridiculous. I think turning Nikki heel was a mistake. Well, it seems that, considering the direction this is turned, this Bella feud now is not a normal feud like you would get into WWE between the males and all that. It's turned in now, for what happened on Raw, to an episode of the Jerry Springer Show. Because these two basically may as well go on the Jerry Springer Show and continue it. It's borderline ridiculous. There was a tweet on Raw as well regarding this that pissed me off. Maria Menounos, please shut the fuck up, okay? Seriously, shut the fuck up. She said something about Stephanie knows what's best for business having Jerry Springer. If that's what's best for business, then no wonder the ratings on Raw are low. To a point, okay? They're not that low. They're not as low as TNA's. You know, oh yeah, Stephanie knows what's best for business. That was probably the lowest segment on the Raw show, okay? Maria, you're probably the only person who probably found that entertaining. Anyone with a brain, darling, thought that was the most ridiculous thing ever. And the minute it was announced, like I said, they knew it was a clusterfuck. And WWE, please stop putting bullshit like this on Raw or SmackDown or any of your shows. Nobody cares about it. And with this bullshit, you're gonna lose viewers quick and fast. I mean, Jesus Christ. You know, there is a term we wrestling fans use when we watch your shows, WWE. It's called bathroom breaks. Anyway, that's the end of that. It was short and sweet, but I had to get that off my chest, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to also bring something up as well. I listened to the Sunday Segue podcast yesterday as well, and they were all good shows always, guys. Thank you for reading my feedback out. Hoping it was okay. And I just want to bring up what Kenny said, because he mentioned something about the Divas match as well. The tag team match coming up, which was the tag team match on Raw, which was, if I remember correctly, was Paige. It involved Paige and AJ Lee, right? And I said that AJ Lee, thank God AJ Lee came in and saved the day. And apparently he said that the move that she put on, because she put on, I think she ended up putting on Paige's move, looked fake. I disagree. One, I disagree, and I suppose I disagree. I agree to a point, but I disagree in a way because I never even took any notice of that. I think you're the only one who saw that, because I didn't. I didn't care, to be honest with you. I was just glad the Divas match was over because it was boring. But what I don't get about this Divas match, right, is at Night of Champions, it's AJ Lee, Paige, and Nikki Bella. I mean, why are them two a feud, right? And Nikki Bella's involved, even though she hasn't been in the mix of it, besides that little tiff that she had with Brie Bella, when Stephanie was involved and everything, and she pushed her over and whatever. These two are feud, and you could AJ Lee and Paige, and you could basically tell they're playing mind games with each other. And like I say, AJ's the original psycho girl of WWE, and Paige is trying to be something that she isn't. You know, she should stick to being herself and not trying to skip all the way down the ring. I'm getting annoyed with that now, seriously. Hopefully this will all end at Night of Champions, but you'd be best off taking Nikki Bella out of the match and having these two one-on-one, having Paige and AJ Lee one-on-one at there, Night of Champions, because Nikki hasn't been involved in this triple threat. You know, she's like the wild card factor, and it's these two, AJ Lee and Paige, they're playing mind games with each other. Just to make one thing clear, anybody that thinks Nikki Bella is going to be the next Divas champion, if that's the case, you're retarded, because there's no way she's going to be Divas champion, because Brie will probably get involved. And yes, I'll probably get to setting up a feud and everything. Brie and Nikki are going to have a match somewhere. I don't know when they're going to have this match, but it's going to be, I mean, sooner or later, as soon as possible, it'll be perfect. But I just don't get the Divas match. And like I say, Kenny, I'm just glad the Divas match was over at the end of the day. If you saw that, more power to you. But I just thought the Divas match, I was just happy that Divas match was over, because it was really, really tiring, and it was all it was, that match at the end of the day, that Divas match on Raw, was Paige and AJ Lee playing a game of one-upmanship, which really got bored and pathetic, quite frankly. But like I say, I'm glad AJ finished it off and ended the match. Right, really nothing much going on in the world of wrestling. I think I've basically covered everything I needed, at least I thought I needed to cover. Just want to let you know as well, WWE's, there's a preview on YouTube right now, go and find it, courtesy of WrestlingDVDnews.com. There's a preview clip of WWE's upcoming DVD titled The Best of Sting, so make sure you check that out, and oh boy, I'll be getting that DVD if I have my way. Best of Steve Borden, better known as Sting. Going back to his NWA days, WCW days, that DVD will no doubt be money. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please, whether you're on Podomatic or Stitcher Radio or YouTube, make sure you check out the list of people that you should follow as well. I will give you, I put them in that list on the description because they're people I think you should follow, quite frankly. No doubt about it, you should follow them. Sorry, I'm just getting a little bit on the thing there. Let me get to my editing thing here. The people who you should follow, I will mention them here. At Crystal Tags In on Twitter. Make sure you check her out, and make sure you check out her YouTube channel too. No doubt the information will be on Twitter. Check out EPW Wrestling's YouTube pages as well. EPWWrestling.co.uk, EPW Wrestling 1 on Twitter, and Facebook.com/EPW American Wrestling. They've got a show coming up in Colby Newham, September 20th in Middlesbrough, and September 19th they'll be in Sheldon, and September 21st they'll be in Redcar. Like I say, for more information, go to the website. At Sunday Segue, follow them on Facebook, facebook.com/Sunday.Segue as well. The people you should follow are The M Cook on Twitter, Mr. President 92, King Bingus. I was a bit tongue-tied there. Make sure you follow the Twitter Wrestling Matters Podcast Twitter page as well, at WM Podcast. At Top Rope Elbow, hopefully I'll get him on the show very, very soon. At Vicky Earls, the Irish commodity, who will be back on the show very, very soon. Currently talking to her right now. Axel Mulligan, the host of Axel's Analysis, and make sure you follow Axel's Analysis on Twitter as well. at Axel's Analysis. James Powers 33, my buddy James from James's Wrestling Rambles as well. Make sure you check that out. And he's also the head of fan relations on Sunday Segue too, so make sure you follow him. He's worth a follow, believe you me. At Tim Vicious and at Tim_Vicious, the host of Vicious Rants. Hopefully I'll get him on the podcast very, very soon. So Tim, if you're listening, I'll be knocking on your door very, very soon, my friend. At Sunday Segue, like I said. And yeah, that Roxxie girl on Twitter, Roxxie's Room as well. Make sure you check that out on YouTube. My dear fellow football fan too, even though she supports Sheffield Wednesday, Miss Paige Martin as well. You just follow her, guys. She's a South Yorkshire police officer. She's a wrestling fan and she's an absolute blast. I had great banter with her in the Millers, not the golf key. I had great banter with her with Middlesbrough and Sheffield Wednesday game. You know, the back and forth banter, despite the fact Sheffield Wednesday mopped the floor with us, but that's neither here or there. But she's a Sheffield Wednesday fan and she's absolutely awesome. And hopefully she'll be on the podcast very, very soon. I'll just have to get the right schedule because, like I say, she's a South Yorkshire cop, so, and probably a very good one at that. Unlike some police officers I know. Anyway, also check out Wrestle Talk TV at Wrestle Talk TV on Twitter and all that. Make sure you check out the Wrestle Talk TV channel as well, and also Wrestle Talk Television Sundays 11 o'clock on Challenge. And don't worry, anybody in America or all that, go to the YouTube page because you get to watch the show that we watch in England on Challenge. You get to see it on YouTube, so which is smart on their part as well. Make sure you follow as well at Sunday Segue as right hand man, the Galdem Sugar Shugs at Shugs as well, spell SUGS. And also make sure you follow the Wrestling Matters podcast fan page or Facebook page or whatever the hell you want to call it, facebook.com/WM podcast for that. And yeah, make sure you check all that out. Make sure you follow all that good stuff and support and keep supporting the Wrestling Matters podcast. This has been episode 24. I've been the head Anthony Walker, the H, the E, to the A, to that D. You've been fucking awesome as always. I love you guys and I'll see you soon. Till next week, which is episode 25. Goodbye. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Anthony Walker, the host of the Wrestling Matters podcast, and you can now check out the Wrestling Matters podcast on youtube.com/AJW Wrestling Matters. You can now go to Podomatic.com, iTunes, and now also you can go to a new one. That's right, a new site, Stitcher Radio. That's right, we're on Stitcher Radio right now. I'm on Stitcher Radio right now, and you could be too. Get yourself on there, download their app, the Stitcher Radio app, or the Stitcher app, whatever it is. Make sure you download their app, and you can listen to it on your phone anywhere you want, at any time you want, at any place you want. That's the Wrestling Matters podcast now on YouTube, iTunes, Podomatic, and Stitcher Radio. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans.